Are you struggling to be consistent, finding whatever it is you want to talk about, creating that content for yourself, to positioning yourself as a leader in your industry? If you're struggling, this is definitely the video to watch. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Andrea Patrick, the BU Boss, and I've got something fun for you today. I'm going to update an original video, a video I did a few years ago, I think, and I'm going to update it. It is 3 must-haves to consistently create your content. We are talking about consistency here on the channel today. Are you struggling to be consistent? If you're struggling, this is definitely the video to watch, because when you're not consistent, if you are not showing up and showing out, it is going to position you more as someone who is indecisive. That could be how you look. It could also make you look like you're not the credible source that you want to be, or that there is like a disconnect, and you just don't want that. You want to make sure that your audience is building relationships, and they are trusting you, and they are really excited about what it is you're bringing to the table. And the best way to do that is to consistently show up. The first thing I want to tell you about is consistency starts with commitment. And when you look at how to commit to something, one of the things that you can really do is to write it down. When we write things down, it sticks. And when we write things down, it's harder for us to kind of go back on it. And when I initially did this video, which you'll see here in a moment, I did not start off talking about templates. I saved that to last, but I want to bring that to the very first thing we talk about, because when you're creating a template, you are writing things down. You are making a list of what needs to be done in order for you to achieve the thing that you're trying to do. Create a template. You want to be able to duplicate what you're doing, and it needs to be consistent time and time again. So you want to create a template. I'm going to show you what I mean here with using my Asana content creation calendar, so that you can see what my template looks like for my podcast. This is my Asana software that I use for project management throughout my business. And what I'm showing you is my content calendar that I typically use and have created templates in. First thing you'll see is that I'll go to my content calendar and I will click the board here where I've created a template. You see here is my podcast template. And what I do is I created a checklist. You see all these are things that need to get done in order for me to create consistency in my podcast interviews. So I go up here to the right-hand corner, click on these 3 buttons, and I can duplicate this template. From there, you'll see I can add the name of that particular podcast. Here we're using test. And then I can now go through and check off everything that needs to be done every single time. That way, my content is consistent, the way I communicate with my interviewee is consistent, and the data I receive from my interviewee is consistent. That's how I use templates to have consistent content. Okay, guys, templates are so big. If you think of yourself as a baker, imagine your customer as someone who loves your sugar cookie. You want to make sure that every time that customer comes into town or walks into your bakery, that sugar cookie is the exact same as it was the first time they tasted it. So how do you do that? As a baker, you have a recipe and you have a cookie cutter. So if you think of your template as something that you had to write down and a way that you can check off to make sure that you are providing the same quality in your podcast, your blog posts, your YouTube videos, then it will make it easier for you to commit to doing them, because now you're not like trying to figure it out every single time you're creating that piece of content. So imagine yourself as a baker, imagine your template as your recipe and your cookie cutter. Because you wrote it down, it makes it a lot easier for you to commit to it, which in turn makes it a lot easier for you to consistently create that piece of content. Does that make sense? Again, that consistency is going to ensure that when you say you do something, you will actually do that something. When that is not the case, if people are looking at you and they feel like you're not doing what it is you're saying you're going to do, or the attitudes or the actions don't line up, then that is called cognitive dissonance. And we don't want our audience to feel that way about us. We want them to feel that there is credibility, like they are always going to get what they come for. So we want to create those templates, and we want to make sure that we're being consistent in the way we put that content out, even down to the formula we use to share the content, i.e. there is an intro, there may be a little bit of B-roll, there may be obviously the A-roll, but how are you going to put that out? Are you a storyteller? However you decide to do it, you can create a template or a cookie cutter and a recipe to ensure that it is the same or very close to being the same in terms of its formula every single time you put it out. It helps you be consistent with it because you are committed to it. Before we go to the second one, I want to ask you a question. In the comments below, tell me if you were a cookie and you wanted your audience to come back for you over and over again, what type of cookie would you be and why? Now, for me, I would be a chocolate chip pecan cookie because I feel like chocolate chips are recognizable. Everybody loves a good chocolate chip, and I think it provides that regularity, recognition. You know, everybody knows what it is. But then the pecan is a protein and it stays with you. It's that thing that sort of satiates you. And I feel like the information that I share can be used to satiate you in terms of how to use who you are to be successful in your industry. And so I think a chocolate pecan cookie would be awesome. So now you tell me down in the description what type of cookie you would be, what your brand cookie would be, and why. Just a little engagement. Just indulge me, okay? Let me know. I want to talk to you in the comments. All right, the second thing that I think could help you of the 3 must-haves to create consistent content is to have content buckets. If you think about what you're doing, the service you're providing, the products you're selling, there are 3 or more main buckets that cover what it is you do, what it is you provide. Determine what those 3 buckets are. For me, I cover brand heritage, which is the value, where that comes from. I cover brand messaging, which is the voice of your brand and what it is you're saying. And then I cover brand legacy, which is what you leave behind, the visibility of your brand. So those are my 3 buckets. Now that I have those created, all I have to do is figure out the type of content that I want to create. I really want to emphasize the creation of content buckets, but I think this is a perfect opportunity to really explain to you where it is you get these content buckets. I know I wasn't very clear with that in the video, the original video. So when you decide that you're going to start a business, you've either decided this because you had a problem that you solved for yourself, or you have successfully solved a problem for your clients over and over again, and you feel like this is a great way to make money. Maybe they weren't clients initially, they were just friends, and you realize that the information you were giving them was helpful. So whatever your reason behind helping someone and providing that solution, there was a journey involved to getting that solution. You had trial and error, you created a process, you had some steps that you used. If you were to write down all of the steps from the beginning of your problem to you solving the problem, you could possibly categorize those steps, bunch them up into 3 to 5 different categories, and give those categories names. As you heard in my original piece, my initial categories were brand heritage, brand messaging, and brand legacy. And so that is sort of how I lumped up all of the steps into categories, and those 3 areas became my buckets. So that is how you would create your buckets. That journey, I call it your epiphany journey. That is where you will write down those steps. Your journey are the steps that you're using to create the solution or to solve the problem. You're going to lump those up into categories, and those categories become your bucket. You want to identify the relationship you have with your epiphany journey. Again, I said maybe it's a problem you had and you solved for yourself, or maybe it's a problem that people around you had and you solved it multiple times for them. That's what encouraged you to start your business. But whatever your relationship is to the problem and the solution, you want to make sure that you are identifying those things and using them as fuel to consistently create content. Okay, does that make sense? That is another way that you can be consistent in creating your content. That's why these content buckets are a must-have. Before I get to the last must-have, I don't want you to forget to subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell. If you are loving this content so far, if you like the idea of me updating old videos, let me know. Give this video a big thumbs up and I will definitely do it. I actually have plans to do a few more, but if you like this, we can create a series about it and go ahead and update a lot more of my videos. So if you like it, give it a big thumbs up. Now, let's move on to the last thing. I don't know if you can hear, but the people have decided they want to cut my grass today. So I don't know. The third and final thing that I think is a must-have if you want to consistently create content is to have hero content. Now, Andrea, what in the world is hero content? Let's look at what I had to say about this in the original video, and then we'll come back and I'll give you a little bit more to update. The type of content, you need to know what that is. Are you going to provide a podcast? Is it going to be a video? Is it going to be a blog post? Are you just posting an image that's going to lead somewhere else? Whatever that is, you want to know what your type of content is. Okay, so as you see, I didn't go into a lot of detail in that video, but I wanted to kind of use this opportunity right now to update you on what I mean by type of content. Your hero content is that value add. It is what people are coming to you for. It is the advice you're giving. It is the tips you're sharing. It is the what and the why of your solution, what a problem is, why people commonly have that problem, and then you're going to point them to your solution as your paid service. This content is going to either be in the form of a podcast, it's going to be in the form of a video, or it's going to be in the form of maybe a blog post. This is what I call your hero content. It's you coming to save the day of someone's problem or solution on a very ground level. The idea here is to provide them with enough information that makes you a credible resource, makes them want to opt in some way to get more information from you. That is the point of your hero content. I want you to make sure that you are not getting that misconstrued or mixed up with the idea of social media posting. That is different. Your hero content is the value you're adding. Social media is your distribution source. That is where people are going to go to absorb or to recognize or acknowledge that you have this value. So think of it as you are the manufacturer of a hair care product. You are the one who mixes up the lotions and potions and you put them in the beautiful jar. Then your social media is going to be your Targets and your Walmarts and your Macy's and your JCPenney's and your Nordstroms. That is who is going to distribute your content. That is where you will put your product on the shelf, and people who are looking for that product in that way will go to the individual store. So if your product is high level, then you definitely want to display it in a way that would be indicative of a Nordstrom's or a Neiman Marcus or a Saks Fifth Avenue. I just came up with that, so I just tickled myself. Anyway, I digress. The point is, you are mixing the lotions and potions of your content, your hero content. You are creating it, and you are then putting it on a shelf, i.e. social media, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, YouTube, and you are distributing that content, the hero content. So that is the difference. You have posting and you have content. You have manufacturing and you have distribution. So that does it. I really hope you enjoyed this week's video. I think I enjoyed actually updating old videos because it just refreshes them. So let me know if you like it. Give this video a big thumbs up. Let me know what your favorite part of the video was. So there are two things I want to hear from you in this video. I want to know what type of cookie your brand would be. Remember, I'm a chocolate chip pecan, and I told you why. And I want you to tell me why you would be that type of cookie as well. And then I also want to know what your favorite part of this video was. Did you enjoy the update? Did you enjoy the new information? What piece of the information did you enjoy the most? And then lastly, I told you that there would be a little bit of an announcement. It's not that big of a deal, but I have been doing a little bit of soul searching lately about how I want to show up for you guys and how I want to make sure that I'm getting the right information to the right people. And though I truly believe personal branding is definitely how you leverage who you are to get the things you want, I believe that it's time for me to elevate the way we think about that. And I'm going to go more into a role of a leadership or a executive coach, and I'm going to be sharing with you process management tools and ways that you can truly be better in your life and your business. I still think, and I will continue to say, that I am here to help you find the intersection between your personal life and your business life so that you can have a quality of life. And I think that that is more in line with executive coaching and process management, where I'm sharing with you how to leverage who you are to get what you want. So if you like that, if you think that makes more sense to what I've been sharing with you on the channel thus far, let me know in the comments. Tell me, seriously, I want to know from you if you like this new approach. I'll still be saying the same thing, but I think in order to get myself categorized on YouTube, I really need to kind of land in a spot and not be so vague. And I think that executive coaching and really helping you with process management and finding the intersection between your personal life and your business life is where I need to be. It's really showing you how to leverage who you are to get what you want. So I think that does it for today. Thank you so much much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok if you are not, and I'll see you later. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.